school student. What's up? All right, so first week, 7 days, consistently, no days off. When we get a house, the first thing we like to do is we kill it. We get the plumbing done, we get the electrical done, we get the insulation done after inspections. Our man Dave's here today. He's putting in a furnace, a hot water tank. So a lot of people wondering how this happens so quickly. Well, if you watch the last video, we go from the beginning and we have about 20 or 10 or 15 steps to get to this point, and we just push through. So like right now it's 7 days. I'm kind of tired, to be honest with you, but it's normal. After the second week, when we start drywalling, then it's a lot easier, and we can take some breaks in between mudding, and I don't need to manage as much as I do in the first 2 weeks. So the last time you were here, we were talking about structurally re-supporting the ceiling and adding 2 structural beams. We're up in the attic, and we've done that. So we have our double LVL beam that's up top, and we have our joist hangers that are all screwed together, and we have our load points. So we have one load point here that rests on the outside wall, and then we're going to have another pad poured underneath so that it's 12 inches deep, and we're going to pour concrete there and have a steel post to support this post that's right here. So as you can see, we got temporary supports here holding this up because there's nothing underneath this right now. We don't want the whole thing to come through the floor and shift. So we have these just for safety. These will come down, and it's a really nice feeling when you rip them down because you can actually feel the room itself. Another big progression that we did this week is we added one of these doors. And as you can see, it has a lot of light coming through. It actually is a lot of breeze too, which is really kind of nice to work. But it adds a lot, and you can see 50% of the floor plan in the house the minute you open the door, and that's exactly what you want to sell to a new homeowner or potential new homeowner. As you can see, we left the existing ceiling because we don't want to re-insulate, we don't want to re-vapor barrier if we don't have to. So we left the ceiling. We've marked out all the joists to do our waffle ceiling so we can nail everything together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut our pot light holes from the attic. We're going to place our pot lights down. They're insulated pot lights because they're insulation around them. We don't want them to catch on fire. And then we can just plaster the ceiling. And it saves us a whole bunch of steps. It also saves us ripping everything down and getting all that stuff in your face, which is not fun. So, as soon as you walk through the front door, here's our closet, our linen closet for our jackets. You're going to walk down the hallway, and there's some really funky framing and angles. So we actually, in a way, we kind of robbed the bedrooms to get the wow factor in this room. So they're a little bit small. Their average size is about 10 by 10, so they're kind of small, but in this area you need 3 bedrooms. So you got one bedroom here. It's kind of defined. You can kind of see how it looks. There's a closet over there. We have another bedroom that's right here. We have our tub sitting in here. The plumber's going to put those in a couple hours. We have another closet over on this side. Then we have our third bedroom, which is right here. I like this bedroom because it has a nice big window. It's kind of small. I'm assuming that they'll probably use it for an office or something like that. It's the smallest bedroom that we do have. And then on this side, in the middle, we have our bathroom. Now there's some changes that we did to the bathroom. Even though we have plans and we have permits, we have to improvise because what happens is once the plumbers come and they start putting in all their plumbing, there's joists and things in the way, and we don't want to restructure the whole house, even though we are restructuring a lot of the house. So we decided to flip the floor plan opposite. So the sink's on this side, the toilet's here, and the tub is going to be here. It used to be on this side, and we did that because we didn't want to restructure underneath and apply for another permit and all that kind of jazz. So one of the good things that we learned when we do these flips or we do renovations is a lot of times we'll put tubs in before we have insulation, before we have vapor barrier in behind. And it took me about 10 times to figure this out, but why not just do it ahead of time, and then I don't have to crawl underneath the tub and try to put vapor barrier, put insulation. So we just do it up to here so that when we put the tub, we don't have to crawl in underneath and try to fix it. And as you can see, we have our new subfloor down so that when our plumbers come, they can just cut the floor and drop their flange in, and there's really no messing around. We can do our scratch coat on top and we can do our tiles. So let's go downstairs and see what we got. So as you can remember from the first video, our staircase used to come down this way, and we've blocked in our side entrance, and we're going to insulate that after, obviously. But this is what happens when you try to restructure or you try to add new plumbing. You got to make a whole lot of mess before you can get to somewhere that's decent or livable. And as you can see, the rock that's here, this is the rock that's going to go back in the hole after our inspection. And all this stuff we got to get outside. So we got to improvise. We haven't been able to build our stairs yet because the material hasn't shown up for our new staircase. So we are getting new windows, so the window gets taken out and we just lug everything out in buckets, and it's a hard job, but we got a couple of laborers that are here that are really efficient, and they can get it done for us, which I'm very thankful for because I'm getting too old for this shit. So we got all our new plumbing. It's all roughed in. They eliminated all the cast iron, which is great because it could potentially leak. All our vents are in, which I'm happy about. We did some restructuring, and this is like moving on the fly because originally our laundry room was over in this corner, and at first it sounded like a really good idea, but then when you look at the space and you realize that those two windows are really valuable to this basement. So we decided to put the laundry room on this side. So it acts two ways for us. One, it covers up our cold cellar, which we're going to have an insulated door on the inside. And the other thing is it keeps all the plumbing in one run. So it kind of helps with a little bit of costing. But the main reason why I did it is a visual. So you're assuming that this is our new staircase coming down. Once you come down, you're going to be able to see 38 feet this way and 28 feet this way. It's going to give you the perception that this place is a lot bigger than what it is, even though the ceiling height's very low. So to get away from the ceiling height because it's so low, what we're going to do is we're not going to put any of these octagon boxes or regular light fixtures. We're going to put all pot lights because they only hang down like a 1/4 inch. So that's going to give us the perception that it's a little bit bigger. We're going to put a whack of them in here, a whole bunch of them, to make it bright and livable. The other thing you're going to notice is this is a 1950s bungalow. So it's a block foundation. What we like to do is, we don't know the condition of this property, so we don't know if there's been water damage or if there's been leaks. We assume there's moisture in every basement. There's moisture, and anytime we do a basement that's of this age, we like to wrap the walls, and we like to wrap the floor, and we like to put our subfloor down. It acts for two reasons. Number one is it helps with moisture if there ever is any moisture. Number two, it's a lot warmer. It's about 3 to 5 degrees warmer in the basement when you have the subfloor. The downside to this floor is it adds an extra inch and a half in height. So it makes it feel a little bit lower, but the precautions outweigh the luxury, in my opinion. So another issue with these windows that we have is they're not actually dug down to the weeping tile. So some of the windows were actually above the dirt, so the water can actually run through the windows and down the wall. So this window we decided that we're going to block in because we're going to have a new deck on the outside, and we don't want, there's no point to have a window underneath the deck just to see cobwebs and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. So we're going to cover up this window. We have 4 other new windows that are going to go in with new window wells and new weeping tile all the way down to the weepers and new gravel. We rushed in early this morning to put the subfloor in because Dave's coming to put the furnace in. He's actually here right now. So we want him to put the furnace on top of this area, as well as we want to put our hot water tank close to this area so that our plumber can finish up his plumbing so we can call for our inspections. So typically a normal contractor or a normal person doing this kind of renovation, I would expect it would take 4 to 5 weeks to get something like this done in this kind of time frame. We're used to working like this. It's kind of like being a firefighter, except we're not saving any lives. We're saving a house. So when there's a fire or when there's a house, we work really, really hard to get it done. And then when we're done that and we sell the house, we relax and wash our truck and chill out like firefighters do. So at this point, we're just restructuring. We're going to redo everything here with the flooring all the way across. We're going to call for our permits for our inspections. We're going to fix some holes in the ceilings. On the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be doing electrical. My electrician's going to be here, and we're going to be rewiring the house. And the cool thing is, we're going to have our flip school students partaking in a little bit of the rewiring, not hooking up into the panel, but rewiring and getting an idea. In order to do these kind of flips, I don't need you to be professional at it, but you need to understand what you're actually doing and why you're running wires to these certain locations, why you need to drill holes, and what different types of wires you're going to need. You need to know if your business is flipping houses or you want it to be flipping houses. You really need to know what your product is or what goes into that house. So stay tuned, my friends. Next week we're going to kick some ass.